What's going on, you guys? So you can see what we're getting into today. We are doing a cam swap on my, I'm actually changing the name. I did call it Sexy Red, but I'm gonna change the name because as you've seen in the earlier videos, it wasn't nothing sexy about old Red here. So I gotta think of a name for her. Like I said, she gave me a lot of issues, the same electrical issues that everyone else is going through. And I discussed that in an earlier video, and I'm getting past that, and hopefully I won't have to talk about or bring that up again. But like I said, I already got the exhaust off. I pulled the spark plugs. I'm about to take this breather off, and then I'll get into the good stuff. So stay tuned and stick around. All right, as you can see, we got everything taken off to the point to we can start getting to cutting these push rods, taking the cam out, pulling the bearing, and doing the swap. So yep, all the prep work, super easy. I shouldn't have to tell you guys what to do on that. If you are attempting to do this, you should already at least know how to take your exhaust off. If not, go and see a professional. I've done this a couple of times. Not saying that I'm a professional, but I've done this at least 3 or 4 times. 4 times. So as you can see, when it comes to these new bikes, I think they got this sensor. I believe it's like the cam sensor. I've watched in a few other videos where people are talking about this. So this is something new on the 23.5 and up road glides, or the new model road glide street glides. You got to take that off before you take the rest of the cam cover off. It's just a little snap in, so just unsnap this guy and it comes right off. All right, you guys, as stated before in other videos, my go-to video is the video from JP Cycles about doing a cam install. And as you can see, you want the back push rods, as soon as the intake is starting to go down and the exhaust is starting to raise, when they're both kind of at the same angle at the bottom, you can cut the front and then the reverse for the back. If you want a more detailed instruction on that, go and check out JP Cycles Milwaukee 8 cam install if you're doing it for your Milwaukee 8. But I'll show you real quick that they're moving. You can see the blue and the yellow. The blue is the intake and the yellow is the exhaust. So I get a little bit closer and you'll see those guys starting to move up and down. Hope you can see that. I'm trying to work with 2 hands and do 3 things. So you can see those slightly moving. That means that it's on the base circle, and you can cut the front push rods. And you do the reverse, you'll put your hands in here on the reverse of it, and then you'll cut the back. All right, so we got the front push rods cut, and you just take your push rods out, and then I'll get that here. It's all going right here. I'm gonna try and reuse this red piece so that it can match with everything that's going on. And also, don't forget to get the little rubber seals from out of there, because you can't forget. Many people state that you can't forget, and if you try to put another rubber seal up in there, you'll end up having a leak. So make sure you get them from out of here and get them from up top. All right, you guys. So a quick tip, and I got this from somebody, I'm not sure. I think it was somebody on Fuel Moto, or maybe it was someone else. But basically, how you get the front push rods on the base circle is you just where the little dots are right there. Hope you guys can see that. Once they line up, that means that the front push rods are on the base circle, so then you can cut the back. If somebody knows something different, you can correct me, but I heard that from somebody, and I also put my hands in here and I could feel the lifters moving up and down as soon as those two dots align. So I believe that that is true, and I was able to spin the back push rods. All right, you guys, so as you can see, I got the lifters out. Now I am going to take off the cam chain tensioner and the oil pump, chest plate, the chain, sprockets, get that cam up out of there, and then we'll get the new cam in and get everything put back together. It's coming along. I'm about 3 hours into it, so make sure, I would say, give yourself at least a day, you know. Make sure you double check your stuff. Give yourself at least a day, or maybe 2 if you don't have time, if you work, come home at night and try to do this, or maybe just do it over the weekend. All right, you guys, as you can see, we got the oil pump out, we got the chest plate, and we took the cam out. I am now going to pull that cam bearing out, and we'll get this other cam installed. Yes, sir. See what time it is. All right, next, you guys, I'll be pulling out the cam bearing. So you can use the gems tool, or you can get this little guy right here, right off of Amazon. That's what I did, and it works perfect. So we'll get this cam bearing out and get the other one replaced. Like I said, if you're having a difficult time, you're trying to do this yourself, go and look up the JP Cycles Milwaukee 8 cam install, and that's one of the best ones I've seen so far, and it helped me through, like I said, 4 cam jobs already. So we're gonna get this out and I'll be back. All right, so we pulled it out. If you are unsure if your cam bearing came out or not, you can look right up under there. You can see that it's out of that socket, so the bearing is pulled. Also, this will just start spinning freely, so you'll know that it's out. All right, you guys, so what I did notice is that I pulled this cam bearing, and my bike only has a little over 1,000 miles, and I pulled this cam bearing, and it's actually the upgraded cam bearing. It's not that stock less teeth cam bearing. So I don't know if that's in the standards or if it's only in the 121 high outputs, but this is the same cam bearing, I guess the high performance, if that's what they're calling it. It's the same exact cam bearing, but being that I was already in there, I'm gonna just change it out anyway. But it still looks good, but with the new cam, you always want to change the bearing out, is I guess that's the rule of thumb. So I'm gonna get it replaced. Alright, we got that new bearing seated up in there, nice and flush. It bottomed out on the other side, and we ready to go. We got action. All right, you guys, so as you can see, I got the cam in, I put the plate and the pump back in, I put the bolts in, but I'm not gonna tighten them yet. I'm going to rotate the motor 2 full turns just to make sure nothing is binding up in here, and then I'll get into putting the chain, the sprocket, or whatever this guy's called. I'll get that put on. So let me get back here, rotate this wheel 2 full turns just to make sure there's no binding or nothing rubbing up against each other. So, all right. What's going on, you guys? It is the next day. I didn't get done with my bike till late last night, and my son had a football game, so I didn't get to start it and do all that stuff, but I did get it put together last night. And if you watch everything, if you started from the beginning, this is not necessarily a how-to, because in the process I had to watch a few videos to go over a few things, check a few specs myself. But I can't say this is a first start because I already took a ride on it. And when she first started up, I was kind of uncertain because it revved up high. You know, I got it flashed and everything for the cam. I got a PV4 on here. And yes, I went with discount ESP, or is it discount DSP? I don't know. You can go and check that out. But that's enough of the talk. I'm gonna go ahead and start this baby up for a second time. Like, I rode about 10 minutes, and I will tell you. So I got the Z Factor 534, the Zippers Fuel Moto collab, and this thing rips, man. Night and day from the stock bike. It's not a cold start because I've already ridden it. I wanted to see how it's gonna be at first, but here we go.